Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to PeopApril. This is a BookTube event created by Roz at Skelly Dandling About the Books and Elizabeth at Book Hunts and Books that is designed to celebrate life writing. Autobiographies, collected letters, memoirs of all kinds, and also full-dress biographies, which I absolutely love. Biography is my favorite kind of reading. I do a lot of it anyway, but for PeopApril, I've been doing a lot more. I've been making sure to add biographical work of some kind to the night's reading, even if the night's reading already has a biography in it, as has happened a couple of times so far in April, and is going to happen a couple more times next week. I've been sure to add something, and I've noticed something when I've been adding things during Peepril, and that is that I've been hitting a bad patch. Maybe not the biographical stuff that I'm reading as a matter of course for my preordained reading, but the stuff that I add has been, a lot of it recently has been bad. Book after book after book. Boring, crappy, whatever. Which has led me to wonder if PeopApril is in fact a cursed event. And I gave myself an artificial time frame. I said, keep reading biographies until Wednesday. And if on Wednesday you call up your imaginary BookTube friends and you have a failure to report, then you can officially declare the event cursed. Which, as I've said, I think you could agree, would make it just about the coolest event on BookTube. Don't you want to be part of a cursed event? Isn't that real cachet in a bland world? So last night, I made a point in yesterday's video. I said I don't want to put my thumb on the scale either way. If it's a curse, I don't want to try to bend the will of the gods either way. So I'm intentionally not going back to books that I know that I love. But at the last minute last night when I was spinning the roulette wheel and I was picking a book to add to the pile, I thought, well, there's no reason why you shouldn't pick at least a subject that you're interested in. I mean, that's not asking too much. So I picked a short biography of Isaac Newton, who's a character I find utterly fascinating, and who's a character I've read every biography of this, every major one of this figure, except for this one, which somehow got by me years ago when it came out. And that is Isaac Newton by James Gleick, who is the author of a best-selling book called Chaos that I read when it came out. I read it. I got a galley copy from the publisher, and then I read the finished copy. And I took a lot of notes on the finished copy of Chaos. I sat with it for a long time. I wasn't reviewing books at the time, so I had more leisure. I have all the leisure that I want now, but I also have, I feel like a ticking clock. Because none of us is getting any younger. Although some of us are manning holding action, none of us is getting any younger. But it missed me at the time. It went right by me, which is kind of odd because this book went right by me. The subject really interests me, but this author I was already familiar with because I sat with Chaos and read it and pondered it. And I had a friend at the time who was a physicist at a university here in Massachusetts. And I asked him, is it me, or is this book junk? I'm not a scientist. I have only the barest layperson's understanding of the things that Gleick is writing about in Chaos, but this seems to me to be garbage. And I think it was maybe 3.5 hours later. I don't know how many calzones, how many glasses of wine. I think it was 3.5 solid hours later that my friend paused for breath because he'd spent that whole time ranting against the book Chaos in increasing amounts of both volume and profanity. So by the time he was done, the profanities were all in check. and the wine was almost gone. To put it mildly, he agreed with me that Chaos is just junk, that it's almost incomprehensibly bad. But it sold like crazy. And I didn't know how much of that was because it's just, hey man, wow, blow your mind type things, or maybe my friend was wrong, maybe he was professionally jealous. I held a door open, in other words. And I was already interested in this subject. I've read every Newton biography. I even tried to read the Principia. Didn't get very far, but I tried. But Newton is the subject of a biography by Christensen that I hold very dear for a whole bunch of reasons that aren't related to it. And it would have been a wonderful reread. It's a fantastic book. In the Presence of the Creator is the name of it. So I thought, you're not putting your thumb on the scale, but at least you'll be interested in the subject. And I read this thing last night. And it stinks. It really, really stinks. It is the smug, quick, brainless glossing that a tenured professor would do to the hurried work of terrified underlings. It has absolutely no insight. It has very bad prose. The prose is noticeably bad all throughout. Imagine a Wikipedia entry on Isaac Newton and take away the diligence and also whatever little bits of rhetorical charm there are, and you would get this thing. It's not a big piece of crap, but it is a little piece of crap. It made Isaac Newton sound both boring and insufferable. And I finished it, and I paused, and I pondered, and I thought, don't go sour on it. Just move on to the next book and think about it more when the sun comes up. And I have done that all day, preparatory to making this video, in which I can declare, ladies and gentlemen, we have a cursed event. Peepril is now officially cursed. It's not just that it's cursed in that apparently you have a high likelihood of falling and breaking a bone or having rogue contractors tramping through your house. It's now cursed in terms of books. So yay. Peepril is now cursed. And now, the only thing I'm hoping, when People in April started, I was hoping that I would get through the month and read a whole bunch of interesting biographies. And maybe some autobiographies that I hadn't given a try to. Maybe new territories, new subjects. Biography is such a great way to learn about a subject, if it's done well. Or to not learn anything at all, if it's done poorly. So I was hoping for that when People April 2024 began. And now, all I'm hoping for from People April is that when it's over, I won't hate the genre of biography. That's all I'm hoping for now, is that I manage to salvage something of what used to be my favorite genre from a BookTube event designed to crush all hope, to destroy all liking of the genre. So I think you could agree this ups the stakes quite a bit. So I am not daunted. I will be adding a biography to the pile tonight, and I am now expecting it to stink. I'm expecting that there's nothing that can reclaim this event from the clutches of Satan himself. But I will report back, and we will see what tonight's pile of poop is. So there you go. That is James Gleick's Isaac Newton, and that is also this event, People April, a cursed BookTube event. Come one, come all. I will wrap this up for now, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thank you, BookTube.